This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on 115th episode of Mann Ki Baat program. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Rajesh, Laikh, anchor.
A warm welcome to Akashvani, Ashokji.
Thank you.
The Prime Minister in today's Mann Ki Baat laid a great importance to the 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Bhagwan Birsa Munda. He also talked about their shared vision of a united India. Would you elaborate on that aspect?
Prime Minister, at the very outset said that if you ask me, what are the most memorable moments of my life? And he said, I remember many incidents. But there is one moment which is very special to him. And that moment was when on the 15th of November last year, the Prime Minister visited the village in Jharkhand, the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. And that was the occasion of his birth anniversary. And he said that visit had a great impact on him. He said he was the first Prime Minister of the country who had the privilege of touching his forehead to the soil of this holy land. At that moment, he said that I not only felt the power of the freedom struggle, but also got an opportunity to connect with the strength of this land. And he said, I realized how the courage to fulfill a resolve can change the destiny of crores of people of this country. And it was in that context the Prime Minister remembered Bhagwan Birsa Munda. And then he said that he also, in the same breath, he also talked about Sardar Patel. And he said, both the great sons of India, we will be celebrating their 150th birth anniversary. Sardar Patel, 150th birth anniversary begins on the 31st of October. And Bhagwan Birsa Munda's 105th birth anniversary year begins from the 15th of November. So both these great souls faced different challenges, but their vision was the same, and one of that of unity of the country. And that is a great tribute which the Prime Minister paid to these two great sons of India.
The Prime Minister mentioned that he was in Laos and during the Navratri time he was amazed to see the local artists perform Phalak Phalam. And in his words, wherever there is art, there is India. Wherever there is culture, there is India. So his importance on preserving the cultural heritage was quite evident in today's Mann Ki Baat. He highlighted efforts by various individuals across India to preserve regional art forms such as Cherial folk art, Abu Jhamadia tribal art and Dogra culture. International interest in Indian culture is also growing, with Indian arts being celebrated globally. What would you like to add to this?
Yes, of course. The Prime Minister recalled his visit to Laos a few weeks ago, and he said that it was Navaratri time. And there he saw something amazing. Local artists were performing Phalak Phalam, the Ramayana of Laos. The same devotion in their eyes, same dedication in their voice. Exactly what we have for Ramayana. Similarly, he said that while in Kuwait, Shri Abdullah Al-Baroon has translated Ramayana and Mahabharata into Arabic. See, this work, Prime Minister said, is not just a translation, but a bridge between two great cultures. His endeavor is developing a new understanding of Indian literature in the Arabic world. And another inspiring example from Peru, is teaching, and Erlinda Garcia is teaching Bharatanatyam to the youth there. And she is imparting training in Odissi dance. And then he went on to explain that influenced by these arts, Indian classical dance is creating waves of popularity in many countries of South America. So it was in that context that the Prime Minister gave examples of India on foreign soil, show how amazing the power of Indian culture is. And it is continuously attracting the world toward itself. And as you already said, within the country also, the art and culture and our tradition and heritage, how it is being promoted by various artists in different parts of the world. He gave the example of Firdausa Bashir in Anantnag, an expert in calligraphy. She's bringing forth many aspects of the local culture through that. And then he also named Gopinath of Udhampur, and he's engaged in preserving, the various form of Dogra culture and the heritage by playing a sarangi. And he went on to talk about so many other individuals in Telangana, as you also mentioned, in Chhattisgarh. And these, things are now becoming so popular, and they are attracting attention of the entire world. People are also becoming a campaigners in his movements like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So all these artists are also participating in this kind of campaign, and that is exactly what is inspiring.
Okay, Ashokji, in this 115 episode of Mann Ki Baat, how would you take out the gist of Mann Ki Baat when it comes to Prime Minister speaking from his heart? What could be the agenda behind Mann Ki Baat? What is it that the Prime Minister is saying to the people of India when he expresses what is in his heart?
He said these examples which he has been mentioning repeatedly in his episodes of Mann Ki Baat, whether it's about India's cultural heritage and being, promoted all over the world or in different parts of the country. In that context, gave a very interesting thing. He said, I will request to all the listeners of Mann Ki Baat to promote such cultural initiatives around you and share them with the hashtag cultural bridges. Because in future also, we will be discussing such examples in the future episodes of Mann Ki Baat also. So I think his emphasis on India's cultural tradition, heritage, and these things, whether it is in the field of art, culture, and if I may add that when the Prime Minister talks about it, he also talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Because Atmanirbhar Bharat also means that we promote our culture, our tradition, all our good things in life. I think the spirit of the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat over the year has been like his campaign of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, is vocal for local, make in India, made in India. All these things he wants to make popular movement.
So how much of his personal personality comes through Mann Ki Baat? So many examples that we have about the Run for Unity, Fit India, digital security awareness. Should we take that these are the issues that are paramount on his mind in a given month, and he expresses and shares those moments, those issues with the people of India?
I think so. Because today when he was talking about the Fit India movement and the passion for fitness, the spirit of fitness, Fit India, irrespective of the weather, and he gave the example when he was in Srinagar for the yoga day, it was raining and so many people came out Dal Lake and performing yoga, participating in this. So fitness also has been part of his campaign. He said this enthusiasm of staying fit was visible in the marathon that took place in Srinagar. And in that context, he said that our schools are now paying more and more attention toward the fitness of children. Fit India school hours. Schools are using their first period for various fitness activities. Children are now playing different games like Kho-Kho and Kabaddi. Now there is rise in attendance of children concentrating. Basically, they have started enjoying it. So what I'm trying to say is, whether it is Fit India or whether it is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Make in India, all these things have been a part and parcel of his overall strategy to make India not only Atmanirbhar, but also, India, his vision of developed India by 2047. That is why all these issues, they come up very frequently in all his Mann Ki Baat episodes.
What was noteworthy today, Ashok, was the fact that he combined the mantra of unity of the country with the spread of the mantra of fitness everywhere, and he asked everyone to observe October 29th when everyone should run for unity, and he associated this with fitness. Apart from this, he also urged everyone to celebrate these festivals with, in fact, a whole lot of festivals. I should mention Dhanteras, Diwali, Chhat Puja, Guru Nanak Jayanti and other festivals he urged people to celebrate them with full enthusiasm, but remember the mantra of vocal for local, and try to ensure that during the festivals, products reaching homes purchased from local shopkeepers. Now, this is such a beautiful thing to say because you are encouraging your own people to buy your own products.
Certainly, and if I may say so, this mantra has part of his episode, Mann Ki Baat, practically every episode, because he never forgets to mention the festivals which will be coming between the two Mann Ki Baat episodes, and he congratulates and wishes people. And in the same context, in the same breath, he will always say, go for vocal for local, buy the products which are produced in India, manufactured in India, because they generate employment in our cottage industry. It's a very consistently he has been hammering all those issues. It's not that he raises one issue or one campaign and he forgets about the past. Consistently, this we have seen. But one very unique thing which I have noticed this time is his concern about the digital arrest or the frauds. I think it was really touching the heart of millions and millions of Indians who have been facing this problem. Fraudster is trying to, harass or scare a very innocent young man. And in that context, he said that fraudsters of digital arrest, phone calls, at times impersonating as police officers, CBI or narcotics, at times RBI, they use such various labels. They converse as fake officers with a lot of confidence. And he said many listeners of Mann Ki Baat have wished that we must discuss that. And that is exactly why the Prime Minister said he is discussing it today at great length. And he said, let me tell you how these fraud gangs work. What is this dangerous game? It is very important for you to understand. And then he gave 3 mantras, how to protect yourself from this. One is that you should be careful. The first move, he said, the fraudsters will collect all your personal information. They create an atmosphere of fear. Uniform government officer set up legal section. They will scare you so much on phone. So in the midst of this conversation, we will not be able to even think. And then the third move begins, and that is the time pressure. So you have to decide now or else you will be arrested. That kind of fake messages which we get occasionally, these things the Prime Minister discussed in detail. And he said many people have lost lakhs of rupees earned through their hard work.
Absolutely.
Out of fear. Whenever you receive such messages, the Prime Minister said 3 mantras. Stop, think and take action.
India's animation and gaming industry, and also the self-reliance achievements that India has over a period of time. Being a self-reliant, Atmanirbhar Bharat includes becoming the world's second largest mobile phone manufacturer, a defense exporter to 85 countries, and the first to reach the moon's south pole. Very briefly, Ashokji.
Very great length he discussed our achievements in animation, and the gaming space of India is also expanding very rapidly. Indian games are also gaining popularity all over the world. He said when he met leading gamers of India a few months ago, he got an opportunity to know and understand the amazing creativity and quality of Indian games. In India, there is a constant wave of creative energy. So in the world of animation, are made in India and made by Indians can be noticed everywhere. So he said, you will be happy to know today, India's talent is also a significant part of foreign productions. Whether the present day Spider-Man or Transformers, in both these movies, he mentioned specifically Hari Narayan's Rajiv's contribution has been highly appreciated by people. Animation studios of India are working with world-famous production companies like Disney and Warner Brothers. So he went on to talk about the original content created by our youth. It reflects glimpses of our culture. They have been watched all over the world. And today animation sector, has done the form of an industry that is powering our industries like VR tourism. Virtual tourism is getting famous these days. So all these virtual animation marvels have been made by Indian creators. So after seeing these places through VR, many people want to visit these places actually in reality. And that is promoting India's tourism.
On that positive note, we would like to thank you, Ashok Tandonji, for being with Akashvani.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on 115th episode of Mann Ki Baat program. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Rajesh Laikh, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani.